welcome here today from myself, Andy Tudor, Managing Director at Nexus Minerals. And that's what we do. We're drilling, we're discovering, and successfully done that over many years personally, and now certainly now with Nexus Minerals. So here to tell you about the story today. The only boring slide that we've got is this one, as far as I'm concerned. So we've got about 600 million shares on offer. Share price around the 8 cents, market cap 50 million, and our top 20, which are very, very solid, nearly 48, around 48% of the company. Chairman and myself and the executive team, significant amount of experience, predominantly in Western Australian gold. A lot of times we've been to sort of investment conferences over the last couple of years and heard a lot of discussions about, what is it that as investors, I suppose, brings you to a company, what makes them successful from both a discovery point of view and also from a share price perspective, and, which is what everybody wants to see. So, there were 6 main factors that have come out over the last few years that we sort of figure Nexus ticks the boxes on most of them. And one of the first ones, you'd like to have your tenure from the major in a good jurisdiction, in a good commodity. And historically, we know the majors just leave so much on the table. They walk over ground, they barely look at it, and then they just leave it to others to go actually and make the discoveries. And so that's where we sit. So yes, all of our tenure I'll talk about today, we've actually taken off then Saracen, now Northern Star, in WA and in gold. You need to be near gold producing assets. And again, our assets within 5 Ks, we've got 3 open pits, 3 undergrounds. This porphyry $1 million and actually the Wallbrook mine itself, which is run by Northern Star, and it butts up against our tenure. So our mineralisation actually continues on to the ore body that they're mining today. A management team and experience, like I said, I've been doing this over 42 years now, and we're well and truly hit the 100-year mark with myself and my C-suite team that have been together for over 10 years, and all my geologists have been with me over 6 as well. So I've got 3 exploration geos and the balance of the team. Previous exploration success, yes, been around a while now. Multiple discoveries in WA, Queensland and the Asia Pacific. Predominant one that most people know is King of the Hills, now in Vault hands. I started my exploration career there in 1985. Was the first person on King of the Hills, picked up the rocks, brought in the RAB rigs, which is now what air core rigs. RC Diamond, became the first mine geo, did that for 6 months until I sort of knew that well and truly the rules and regulations around being in a mining operation was not for me, and headed off and just continued to make discoveries through Australia, and then ended up for 3 years in PNG and survived to tell the tale, only just. But again, discovered multiple gold zones as part of the monstrous Wafi Golpu, which these days is one of the largest, if not the largest, undeveloped copper gold mine operation in the project in the world. And that's a gigantic piece of real estate up there. Near-term production potential for Nexus, yes, the Crusader Templar resource, which I'll talk about today. And we're active and well funded. And I think that, we raised $4 million back in 24, another 8 earlier this year. And so we've kept the air core and the RC rigs turning all of 2025. And in fact, literally 2 or 3 days ago was we finally shut down the air core rig and went, that'll do us for the year. So it's been constant, still 9.6 million in cash at the end of September, and some great results throughout the year. So those 6 points are the main things that we know make exploration and company success, and Nexus Minerals has all those things. So projects themselves, and today I'm only going to talk about the West Australian gold projects, mainly because they're advanced and they're going to be sort of transformational for the company. I've also pegged, we've got 7,500 square kilometres of the New South Wales mineral project, but we're treating that more like a CSIRO style project. Very early days, and we'll just see how that one transpires. But at the moment, it's all gold and it's all WA. So this is where we are. The southern end of that map is the Carosue Dam, Northern Star's operation, 4 million ounces still there. Big, hungry mill. All of the tenure that Northern Star don't own in that corridor, we do. And it's all about being in the right rocks. You need to be in that yellow elliptical rocks pattern there that all of our tenure is in. 192 square k's of granted mining tenure. And importantly, the granted MLs are in the central component, and all the work that we've been doing to date are all on granted Ms. And anybody that's in the industry now would purely understand the value of an M. To actually go out and actually apply for an exploration tenure in WA, sadly can take a couple of years. Move that forward, make your exploration success, sell your points, prove the reasons why you should get an M, then go through the long and painful process of actually having it granted. Can take you many, many years. So to have all of that central component on granted Ms means that you've got that development and that production profile, you can move to it significantly faster. So we've had the drill rig turning all year, and I talk about there under the granted Ms, we've got our mineral resource estimate drill out ready prospects, of which we've got 5. I'll just show you a picture of one today, because otherwise it's just an endless stream of fantastic drill results. But what it's all about is the exploration work has brought these prospects up to the point where they're now ready for a mineral resource drill out. So the company, we spend our money, obviously, we go out there, we bring these exploration tenure up to a point, and then we decide, well, are we going to MRE drill them? Do they turn into resources which then can actually make some meaningful movement to your share price? Or do they stay as exploration tenements? So fortunately, we've got 5 that are MRE drill ready, and they're about to be drilled out in 2026. Favourable geology, fantastic structural setting, and we're in that multi-million ounce gold district. So our one mineral resource area is Crusader Templar, 300,000 ounces at just under the 2 grams. Again, significant indicated component, metallurgical test works fantastic, ungranted mining tenure with flora, fauna and heritage survey clearance. And again, in WA these days, that is also hugely significant. So we've got total clearance to explore on all of our tenement package by the newly determined heritage group out there, and that includes their permission to go mining here. So we are mine ready, and as you can see, we butt up against Northern Star's Wallbrook mine to the south. So the other thing that's changed, back in the good old days, let's say 5 or 6 years ago, everyone wanted to see 1 million ounces at X grams or grades and whatever it was. That's all fantastic when the Aussie gold price is 2,000. If you then fast forward to today, where 6,300 this morning, you've also got to take into consideration that, and you go, well, the new million is 300,000-400,000 ounces, as long as they're good ones. I mean, you need to have good ounces, and certainly ours are good ounces. So solid mineral resource there. So what we've done is look at a component of it and said, well, all right, how do we get this thing out of the ground? How do we get it going? So we looked in June 24, which obviously the number's obsolete today, as previous speaker was saying. We have to update things, but I mean, at the moment, it was waiting until we started to get our permitting arriving, and then we had some clarity to a timeline where we could actually go and start digging this out of the ground. So we've just received the mine development and closure plan last week. Literally covers that the blue ellipse there. A stage 1 multi-pit operation, 80,000-90,000 ounces coming out of the ground over a period of 2.5 years. Third-party toll treatment, and working with a JV partner to actually come in and fund it. And I think that was another point made before as well. Before probably 2 or 3 years ago, the opportunities for JV partners and have somebody coming in as a contractor and actually bring all the capital to you was very, very slim. There really wasn't a model that was happening in the West. It was very much like, raise the money, dilute debt. Nowadays, we're finding we can get operational partners to come in who specialise in that. Obviously, the mining space, trucking, treatment, and we can stick and go out and keep exploring. So it's a great model, and we're certainly in advanced discussions with that. The permitting status obviously critically important, and through the year we've gradually got those ticks done, and one of the most important ones is that mine development and closure plan, which we received last week. Two permits that we're still waiting on, works approval and clearing, but again, they're now operational permits that are simply with the department. They don't have to go out for sort of comment. We're not waiting for somebody to make a decision on it and come back to us as in public decisions. It's purely a matter of it sits with the department. They don't have any problems with it. Once you've received the MDCP, the works approvals and the clearings tend to come with it. That's the big one. Once you've got that permission to go mining, the other subsequent parts of the puzzle all come together. And then we start talking about our operational partner there, of which we're certainly in advanced discussions on that. But again, until we had the mine development plan, there's only so much point in saying, well, can you mine this thing? Well, no, we can't yet. Well, now we can, so that's moving along very, very quickly, as is the toll treatment partner as well, and the haulage and operating will be in time. So really happy how those green ticks are coming together. And the next steps is very much like continue getting these operational permits and be ready to crack on in the Q1 in 2026. And this is that central sort of area that I was talking about. We've got this regional gold camp sort of coming together. We've found that over this last few years, exploring, discovering, and we're gradually working up these regional prospects. So from investors here today that aren't in Nexus already, you're kind of taking advantage of 5 years of exploration work out here to the point where we've got this Paynes, Godfrey, Clement, Amand and Branches, all at the point where they're about to do this MRE drill out. So huge advantage there in the amount of work that's been done to date. Yeah, we just completed that air core rig like I was saying. So resource drill out and update the Crusader Templar resource with the current gold prices and inputs is certainly what's coming up for the new year. I'll only talk to one of these projects, because like I said, everyone gets boring looking at how fantastic exploration drill results that we've had at Nexus over this last few years. So I'll select one. This is Branches. This is the typical style of mineralisation out here. We've got these elongate, that's over 1.5 kilometres. Pink porphyries they are, altered mineralised porphyries, fairly linear, sheeted, stacked systems. And the gold signature in the region is this quartz goethite veining, particularly in the oxide, through the sericide, rutile, tourmaline, albite, and these hematite altered pink porphyries in the fresh rocks in particular. And those are some of the drill results that we've got from there. But importantly, we've done enough drilling here now to know that once we do the infill drilling, we've got our mineral resource estimate, and then that moves into a mine plan, and subsequently, we move on and on and on. So that's what we see happening out here at the Wallbrook Gold Project. Develop these prospects into MRE numbers and then start putting them into mine plans as well. So that's the Wallbrook Gold Project. And then if you go 15 kilometres south of Carosue Dam, which is what we had in the main slide, we've got a high-grade underground there in a joint venture with Northern Star. And again, 78,000 ounces, of which 66,000 come out in an underground. Small, high-grade. We've got an agreement to treat the ore through Carosue Dam. And like I said, they're a JV partner. Again, granted mining tenure, flora and fauna is completed, and fantastic metallurgy. So drilled this one out a couple of years ago, and it's sitting there, but you see how beautiful and true it is. I've done a detailed underground work, and it's mine ready. So we've got our basic portal, box cut and into a decline. So next steps here, complete our mining proposal, closure plan, operational permits, and follow on what we've been doing at Wallbrook. So in summary, Wallbrook, Crusader Templar prospect, 300,000 ounce resources, hopefully, potentially, mining in 2026, multiple resource-ready drill-out projects, and early exploration success. Add on top of that a high-grade underground partnership with Northern Star. So thank you very much. That's Nexus Minerals.
Thank you very much, Andy. And to Nexus Minerals, so exciting projects coming up in 2026.